Episode 6, Trev's Hockey Show. I'm the Trev. You know that. If you're tuning in, if you're watching, that's too sweet. Anyway, I'm late to this one, and kind of intentionally so. I didn't really get wind of this till yesterday. So, when this is announced, it was July 31st. But anyway, it's a new majority owner for the Arizona Coyotes. And I actually got to watch in his introductory press conference. And most I took away from it was everybody wants to win, and he sure as shit wants to win, in his own words. Let's talk about it. So for everybody who missed it, or everybody who just didn't really care and is only paying attention to it now, Alex Meruelo is a businessman out of LA who specializes in resurrecting struggling businesses and companies. His portfolio includes casinos, TV and radio, food services, real estate, hospitality, construction, and engineering. And boy, did he give himself a challenge. He is the new majority owner of the Arizona Coyotes. Now, he is still the majority owner. Andrew Barroway, the last majority owner, still has a minority stake in the team. But a lot of the big decisions are going to be that of Morello. And it's finally good to see somebody with deeper pockets. Wind. It's finally good to see somebody with deeper pockets wanting to take on this kind of a challenge. Because, I mean, let's not call a spade a club here. The Coyotes are a challenge. So on top of being the majority owner, he is also the president, the CEO. He's your guy, essentially. And I guess it's interesting to note that he is the first Hispanic owner of the NHL. Not that makes any bit of difference. He's still an owner. Race, creed, color shouldn't matter. You know, I mean, if you want to be the guy who signs the checks and all that fun stuff, good on you. So for the Coyotes, John Shika, I think that's how his name's pronounced, the general manager now, has spent the last 3 years kind of building a team around analytics and age. I mean, the Coyotes are a young team, with the exception of Phil Kessel. You know, he's beer and hot dogs, I mean, is probably the oldest guy on that team right now. And it'd be interesting in future to see if they stick to that mold, or if now they have the pockets to do it, actually start spending the money on free agency and, you know, players that would be unaffordable then that are affordable now. I mean, basically, Arizona has spent the last decade, maybe longer, building a team on budget. You know, taking on dead contracts, all that stuff, and now they're free of dead weight. They can actually maybe build a contender. And the fact that the Coyotes have missed the playoffs for the last 7 seasons probably gives more fuel to want to make things better. But it's not the on-ice product that's the problem. It's never been the problem. The problem's always been at the gate. Depending on the source you want to believe. Before Jerry Moyes took over, before the NHL took over, before the guys at Ice Edge Holdings took over, before Barroway even took over, the Coyotes have not made a profit since they relocated from Winnipeg in 1996. And as, again, depending on the source, they've gone on to lose over $300 million in the last 6 seasons. Now I'm not $100 million heir. I'm not even a billionaire. But I understand $300 million in loss is not good business. It's not good at all. A lot of that loss could be attributed to they don't sell out at all unless they're in the playoffs. I mean, the last playoff push they had, where they lost to the Kings in the conference final in 2012, was probably the last time you ever saw their arena, what the hell's its name? Gila River Arena. Probably the last time you ever saw it near full capacity. And I don't think they even sold out any of those playoff games. even when they were making a deeper push. But low attendance, low concession. They're not making nearly as much as they want to with parking. I don't think anybody lines up at NHL.com and says, oh, I got to get me some Coyotes merchandise. So there's a certain marketability that they really, really need to make themselves better. And going back to the playoff argument, since 2012, and even before then, because the 2012 team wasn't necessarily one that everybody had on the tips of their tongue saying they were going to be strong playoff contenders. They haven't had a competitive team in a very, very long time. So, again, back to, would they spend the money on players? Well, I think now that they understand, hey, if we want to start making a profit, we need to put a competitive team on the ice. And going back to Gila River Arena, if you remember back in 2015, the city of Glendale terminated the lease. And they've been signing a year-to-year lease to play in that building. Now, I don't think they're going to go back to Talking Stick Arena in Phoenix, because that arena was never really meant for hockey. You got to remember, Talking Stick was built for the Suns of the NBA. So the sight lines, the configuration is all NBA oriented. It's like Barclays Center for the Islanders in Brooklyn. It's not meant for hockey. And one of the sticking points for Morello would be now getting a new arena. Whether it's in Phoenix, whether it's in Glendale, whether it's in Tempe, they need a new arena, because the arrangement they have now in Glendale is not going to work at all for the short term, for the long term. Of course, with talks for a new arena comes the question of commitment to the state. And Morello has said he wants to keep the Coyotes in Arizona, despite their fan base, despite the fact they've lost millions upon millions of dollars. He wants to stay there. But you gotta wonder, if they don't get that new arena, will they stay? And I know there's still the NHL dream of playing in Houston. Well, we'll see, I guess, right? You would think if they don't get that arena, Houston is the 1A. Because arena should be plan 1. Houston should be 1A. But all that withstanding, with new ownership, hopefully with better marketability, maybe they can now create a winning identity. You would hope, anyway. You never want to see bad things for a franchise, but it is the Coyotes. They've been, to take words from a guy I used to talk with a lot of time, they're the welfare team of the NHL. They have been for a while. They've been relying on NHL subsidy, revenue sharing, all that stuff for years. Maybe with this new identity that they'll hope to build, they won't have to rely on that anymore. But again, the main thing that they should want for the success of the team, for the future, is playoff money, because there's a lot of playoff bonus money. And if they can make it further than the first round, further than the second round, if they can even go on a tear to the cup, that's good money. And that it doesn't recoup the loss that they've had since '96, but it puts a nice chunk in their wallet, saying, oh, okay, yeah, now we're making money. But who knows? From this point, a majority owner with $1 billion pocket, it sounds promising, but now it's on them. They have to be able to say, okay, we're going to produce winners. We're going to put on a competitive team. We're going to sell out the arenas now. Everybody's going to want to come see us, especially with realignment coming. Because with Seattle coming into the league in 2021, they're moving to the Central Division. And the Central Division is not easy for any team. Look at Minnesota. They went from being playoff contenders for 6 straight years to missing the playoffs. When's the last time they got out of the first round? A long time. I think the last time they did was when they beat Colorado. And how long ago was that? that was just a quick, basic recap of what I took out of the Alex Meruelo press conference where they introduced him as the new majority owner. Let me know what you guys think. Put some comments in the section below. Honestly, unbiasedly, it can be good, but can be is not will be. That's just my thought. I mean, again, I'm hopeful, but at the same time, I'm not going in saying, oh, this makes the difference, because it doesn't really. It just means they have more money that they can spend on the team, on the franchise, and marketing. So we'll see where it goes from here. But either way, this was episode 6 of Trev's Hockey Show. I want to thank you for tuning in. Your viewership always means so much to me. Always has, always will. Let's get that sub count to 50. That's my goal for every one of my channels right now. I'd love to get the sub counts up. So hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, tell your friends, share if you want to, whatever the case might be. Let's get that sub count up. If you want to, you can find Trev's Trade Page on Facebook at Trev's Trade Page. You can also find the parent channel on Facebook at Trev's TV. And you can find Trev TV on Instagram at Rockstar Trev TV. And if you want to subscribe to my other channels, here's what you're looking for. Going forward, with the hockey channel, there's always going to be something to talk about. It's hockey. I mean, yeah, we're still in the off season. Yeah, it's still quiet, and I mean, that's why I've come up with a couple of videos during the off season to help keep the content going. So we'll see what we come up with. I mean, my prediction videos won't come around till September, so I mean, there's plenty of time for me to go through. I've already gone through like 3 copies of what I think the predictions should be, but I know that's not final right now. That won't be final till September. The wrestling channel, there'll be stuff coming. I mean, just because there's gaps in between videos doesn't mean that I'm not working on things. But either way, in the meantime, and in between time, be on the lookout for more videos from the Trev. Later.